Hey, good morning, HPen family. This is Chichi Arachalu. I am here as your host, your guest for the next 3 days, where we're going to be talking about unlocking the visibility code. So I'm going to give it a couple of minutes for the notifications to go through, for everybody to come on, and then we will get started. I haven't I haven't got any music, but I'll just give it a couple of minutes and then we'll kick off. And then for those of you watching the replay, welcome, welcome. So I'm going to check it's streaming into the group properly, and then we'll go. So I'm really excited to do this, and I have big shoes to fill. Mr. Bassi is not here, but hi, if you're coming on, please say hi. Let me know your name and let me know that you can hear me, and also let me know where you're watching from. Okay, we're live. I can see myself. So I am Chichi Arachalu. As I said, I am a business consultant and also a strategist, and I am here over the next 3 days to share with you how you can unlock the visibility code. Okay, so I can see Fina is coming on. I can see Edward. I can see a couple of you jumping. Please come and say hi. I do live stream all the time, but in my own group, on my own page. So it's an unfamiliar territory here in HPen. Hey, Fina, thank you. So let me give it a couple of minutes so that I can get a couple of people on. Edward from India, that is awesome. So I'm live streaming from London in Essex. Hi, Soji. Good morning. It's 7 a.m. here, 8 a.m. in Nigeria, of course. And yeah, we're going to start very soon, but I'll give it a couple of minutes for people to be on here live. So while we're waiting, can you tell me, share with me, what is your biggest struggle when it comes to being visible and sharing your business in the online space? So post that in the comments and let me know. What do you struggle with in terms of being visible? And, telling people what you do. Post that in the chat and we will start soon. So we're live streaming there. Good. So I'm excited. This is really early for me. Well, early for live streaming because I have 2 young children and they're currently sleeping. I've been praying, like, God, let them be sleeping. My husband is on watch if they do wake up. But yeah, it should be fine. So, oh, Fina, honestly, I'll take a picture and you can see the lighting situation going on here. It's pitch black, okay, in the UK right now, but I have lights. So, okay. So if you have never connected with me before, you don't know anything about me, I'm just going to do a little brief intro about my story, so kind of put it into context and why I'm talking about visibility. So I, in terms of my business now, I consult with businesses, small businesses, solopreneurs, in terms of helping them grow their business online through their visibility. Hey, Madupe. And so I get a lot of people coming and they're saying, do you know, Chichi, I'm not getting any clients, Chichi. Nobody knows who I am. I'm not making any income or the income I should be. And so they come to me for help and I work with them twofold. So the first part is really around your mindset and how you feel about being visible. And I can see Edward says, I'm very camera shy, still trying to get the hang of the whole social media thing. And so, yeah, a lot of people feel that way. There's a lot of fear about putting yourself forward. So I help with my clients to get confident in being visible, just sharing their story, getting on camera, doing Facebook Live. And then at the same time, on the other side, I help with your kind of the implementation of that strategy. So this might be your website or your graphic design or your social media. How do you bring all of that together so that people can get to know, like, and trust you? So I see we have Rinaya, we have Folakami. So hi, good morning. So I have been in business online, in the online space for over 4.5 years. My corporate background is business banking, so I've looked after small business for a long time. And when I first started in business, I didn't really need to be that visible because as a web designer, I would do a good job and people would refer me, and I got a lot of business from referrals. When I moved into coaching and consulting, and that was a kind of a completely new type of business, I had to be more visible. I had to go out there and tell people all about me and what I did and how I could help them. And that really scared me because I'm so used to hiding behind my laptop. And, so I had to start my own visibility journey. So a lot of the fears that you might be feeling about, knowing what to say, what will people think of me, I'm scared to be on camera, I have felt all of those. And so it's so important today, over these next 3 days, I'm going to share with you why it's important for you to be visible and how you can overcome some of those fears. I'm also going to share with you what to do when you feel like nobody's watching. You're doing a Facebook Live and there's nobody on live, or you're basically posting on your social media and nobody's commenting, and is anybody watching? Should I continue? I'm also going to talk about how you can identify where you should be, okay? Because there's so many platforms. You've got your Facebook, you've got your Instagram, you've got your Snapchat, all these places. And for some of you, it's very overwhelming. Where do you need to be? Hi, Kajabo. Hi, Olorunke. So, we're going to talk about that. And I'm also going to share with you the 6 C's of the visibility code, how to unlock them, okay? So that you can get more clients, more cash, and more people into your community, all right? So let's start. And one of the questions I asked for those of you who came in earlier is, what is it that you struggle with when it comes to being visible and putting yourself out there? So post that in the comments. Tell me, you're online. What do you struggle with in terms of being visible? What scares you the most about being visible? And, visible is defined by, going out there and telling people what you do. So post that in the comments and let me know. And also let me know where you're watching from. We already have India and we have the UK, so that's pretty cool. And yeah, so like I said, I've gone on my own visibility journey to a place where I'm very comfortable now being visible. And last year, I made a commitment to be consistent with my visibility at the beginning of last year. And that included, showing up every day, whether it's on my blog or in my Facebook group or on video, even when nobody was commenting or saying anything. And I made that commitment to show up because I believed in my message, and I was like, I'm going to be consistent with this. And you may or may not know, but there's like a 3-month window in terms of marketing activities. So anything you're doing now for raising your visibility and kind of getting yourself out there, you're not necessarily going to see all the fruits of it for at least 3 months. Okay, so I knew that, and I had to be persistent. And so throughout all of last year, it's no surprise that I saw the biggest growth in my business. I saw the biggest growth in my community. I saw, I finally walked away from my 9 to 5 and grew my business to a place where I could be a full-time entrepreneur. And I put that down to being visible, people knowing who I am, who I was, people coming into my community and resonating with my message and wanting to work with me. And that can be your story too, okay? So why is it important to be visible in your business? So, and how are you showing up to the world? It's so important that you don't stay hidden, because ultimately you're in business. People need to know who you are. They need to know that you can help them. And if they don't know you exist, they can't give you any money. They can't tell their friends about you. And often, you could be far better than somebody else who is out there, but they are very comfortable in telling the world that they're there and they exist. And so being visible and being consistent with your visibility is so important, because without it, you'll find yourself struggling to grow your business. You'll find yourself struggling to get clients, and you'll struggle to get money, okay? And we're all in business and we're all here to make an impact. So you want to be somebody who's conscious about your visibility. So a couple of comments in. Madupa says, I get overwhelmed trying to identify who to connect with, and she's watching from Lagos. Woo. Edward says, showing up and not having an audience is particularly scary. It is. But we'll talk about that in a little bit, about the fears, okay? So what is the benefit to you for being visible? Like I said, business growth. People get to know who you are. They get to buy from you. They get to tell their friends about you. And, there's different ways of being visible. There's what I call active visibility, which is like what you're seeing now. This is very active. I am in front of you in video. We're engaging. And then there's also passive visibility, which is things like your content. So you may write a blog or you may have a podcast. So you're not necessarily live in the moment, but people get to engage with you and they get to see you. The amount of people who have kind of come to me and said, I've been reading your blog or your podcast and everything else like that. And, often, half the time, you don't know who's watching you. And just going back to your point, Edward, it is scary when, nobody's watching. But the thing is, you don't know nobody's watching. If you think about all the times that you connect and you read things online and you may see something that you enjoy, you may not necessarily always comment or even like the post, but it doesn't mean you didn't read it, and it doesn't mean it didn't impact you. So that's why I always say to my clients, it's so important that you keep showing up, you keep creating your content, you keep sharing your message, even if it looks like nobody's watching, because people are watching and they are kind of building that, the know, like, and trust factor. They're kind of adding more credits into your bank. So it's sort of like, oh, okay, another live stream. Okay, she knows what she's talking about. I like her. Another credit. Oh, blog post. Great. Let me read this. Okay, she's an expert in what she does. Another credit. So you want to be consistent in putting things out there, even if it feels like nobody's watching, because you have no idea, you just don't know. Okay. So you want to build that know, like, and trust factor, because that is what's going to get people to engage and buy with you. And it says that it takes about at least 7 to 25 touches for people to connect with you and then be ready to buy. So if you think about this, if you have your content, if you have your visibility, sorry, in both active and passive places, so somebody could see me on my Facebook page and they kind of watch a live stream, then they go on my page and see other videos, and so that's another couple of touch points. They may go on my website, or they may come into my Facebook group, see a blog post, and another touch point. They go on my website, sign up to my lead magnet, another touch point. Hi, Padabi, good morning. So you want to have these things all in place so that people can have that 0 to 7 touch points as quickly as possible. I did a discovery call with somebody yesterday who I said, how did you find out about me? When what made you decide to get on the call with me? She goes, well, literally, I only discovered you 2 days ago. I'd seen your name mentioned by somebody, and I went just looking around. I went to your website, I liked what I saw, and I booked a call. That is how quickly people can find you and then connect with you. I had another client which I signed on last year who somebody tagged me in a post, and this is what I'm talking about. If you're consistent with your visibility, you will find that other people promote you on your behalf. So somebody tagged me in a post because she was looking for a business coach. We connected and we arranged to kind of have a conversation on the Monday. I think it was a Friday we initially talked. And in that time, she went around looking at all the different things that I put out there. And that helped solidify her decision when she worked on Monday, when she said, yeah, I want to work with you. So be consistent and make sure you're showing up in active places and in passive places as well. Let's see, who was him? Medusa's name, thought of it that way. Hello to all the new people. Falakemi, Amawumi, Olabisi. Hello. Okay, so a lot of people struggle with being visible, right? And there's a lot of fears that come up in terms of saying, oh my goodness, I have to do a Facebook Live, or I have to do anything. And you don't have to do a Facebook Live. I just like to do Facebook Live because that's what I have chosen to do. But a lot of the times we have fears around putting ourselves out there, particularly if your business is very dear to you and it's something that you're very passionate about. And, I want to ask you, are you being as visible as you could be? And if you're not, why? What is the fear? So tell me in the comments, are you being visible, as visible as you could be, yes or no? And if you're not, what is the fear? And let's talk about fears, about putting ourselves out there, and talk about the visibility reasons why, we have to squash those fears. So tell me in the comments, I'd love to see. My fear, when I was making the decision to be more visible, was like, okay, firstly, I was in a job, so I was afraid that I was going to be seen by my colleagues and my boss. Second of all, I was like, what will people say? Like, who does she think she is? And can she really, what is she talking about? Am I good enough to even take this information to people? I'm going to look stupid. And I don't even know what to even say. So those are some of my fears. Tell me, what are your fears? Some of your fears in being visible. And I know there's a bit of delay, so I'm going to wait. And we all have them. And even now, depending on the platform and depending on what I'm doing, it's different fears will come up. So Amormi says, putting yourself out there could be particularly scary, especially when you don't get the response that you want. That is a good point. What I would say to that is you have to detach yourself from the outcome. I say this to my clients, I teach it to myself, whether it's booking a client, whether it's posting on Facebook, whether it's putting out an offer, you have to detach yourself from the outcome. When you become detached to the outcome, that's when you start to worry and be fearful and be getting upset when you don't get the response that you want. You're upset that you haven't got the response because you're attached to the outcome. You're hoping that you'll get X, Y, and Z. So I always have one of my mentors taught me to always be NATO, not attached to the outcome. When you have that stance, you can go out and do anything because you don't care if anybody says anything, if anybody watches. A lot of the times when I did videos, nobody would come on live. In fact, when I was preparing for this, I went through some of my old videos and it was 3 live viewers, 1 live viewer, 0 live viewers. But you don't know who goes and watches the replay, okay? Good morning, Priscilla. And then Orman says, and then sometimes you don't feel good enough or knowledgeable enough to influence lives. So that is another fear. And what I would say to that is, so this whole expert status, this is HPen. We're all, want to be highly paid experts. An expert is a very definitive word, okay? So if you look at a thing of 0 to 10, okay, you could be like a 2, which means that you can help anybody who's on the scale of 1, or you could be an 8, which means you can help everybody who's 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So a lot of the times we feel we have to be better than we already are, and we also don't recognize how good we already are. And so we have this fear that the information we're going to put out there is not good enough, people are not going to resonate with it. So what I would say is that you want to, it's a fear and it's a block. And one of the exercises I get my clients to do on Warming is why am I an expert? I am an expert because, and you write down all the reasons, all your qualifications, your experiences. I always encourage my clients to keep a folder of all the testimonials, comments. I keep it. People were saying stuff yesterday, and I just screenshot it. I put it into Evernote because it's a reminder to me that what I'm putting out there is impacting people, and it's a reminder that I am an expert. And it's and also you have to be comfortable and confident in yourself, in your self-worth. You can't place that value or give that power to anybody else to determine that you're worthy, so for you to be successful and being visible, you have to attach yourself to the outcome, but also be very comfortable in your own skin, like knowing that, well, I'm good enough. I don't need people to tell me. I don't need any Facebook likes to tell me. And it's hard, but you have to get to that place. Otherwise you constantly be worrying, constantly be going back and forth around what you're doing. Okay, so detach yourself from the outcome. So Ola basically says, I am not as visible as I should, and it's not particularly fear that is responsible, but the engagement from my community. You just advise that I should keep showing up, and I will. Yes, when I started my Facebook group, so right now my group has like 2,300 members. So this time last year, it was like 150 people, okay? And I remember saying to my coach at the time, I feel like it's just me talking, like nobody's engaging, nobody's doing anything. But you just have to keep going. You have to keep going. When you have a community, especially a Facebook group, until you get to like 500, which is when critical mass starts to happen, you're going to be finding that it's you talking all the time. But also people in the group, they take their direction from the leader. So if you're not showing up in the group, why should they? They have so many groups they could be part of. Why should they show up? So I would say, just keep being consistent, persist, because it will pay off. Like I said, you don't know who's watching. I know there's people who I'm working with now who were in that group in those early stages, and they were just watching from the sidelines. And now they're like, that was kind of, like I said, filling their visibility, filling the no, like, and trust bank. More credits, okay? So stay persistent. And Edge, good morning. Madupe, we don't recognize how good we are. We don't. Edward says, I remember Victor freaking out after his first Facebook Live. I know, I remember that. That did a number on me, because I'm thinking at his level, that's happening, how much more me? But I'm gradually getting that into perspective and realising I'm good enough. And that's the thing, I remember that when Victor did that. And we all feel the same fears. We all want to be good. We all want to deliver good stuff. And so detach yourself from the outcome. Don't worry what people think. Just show up, be authentic, and be yourself. Okay? So one of the things that really helps in overcoming your fears or your resistance to being visible is getting connected to your why. Why are you doing this? Why have you gone into business? The people that you're here to help, how are their lives impacted by the work that you do? Once you connect to that, the whole feeling of, oh, I'm not going to go and share my message today, kind of dissipates, because your mission is much bigger than your ego. It's always an ego thing. What will people think of me? What will people say? And the thing is, most times people are not even thinking about us. They're thinking about themselves. So we spend all this time and energy worried about what people say or think, when actually we should just be focused on delivering our message, delivering our mission. So your mission has to be more important than your ego, and you need to connect with that all the time. Because think about this, if you don't go out there and tell people what you do, go out there and give the solution to their problem, there's people out there who you can help who are waiting to receive your help. I always use the example of if you have the cure to cancer, you wouldn't hide it. You would go out there and you tell people, like, I have the cure to cancer, come and get it now, I'm going to help you. It's the same thing. Everything you're doing, you're impacting somebody's life. So you want to tell them about what you have to offer. So the truth is, you need to get over ourselves. We have to get over ourselves. We have to put our ego to one side and realize this is much more than us, okay? But there's people out there who need to help us, that we need to help. Priscilla says, I was scared to do recorded videos. My stomach quivered so badly. I thought I was going to be sick, but I had to start. My coach insisted I must put out videos at that point. I'm still shivering on how the Facebook Live will work out. You know, you're not alone, okay? We all feel that way. We've all felt that way at the beginning point. And like I said, detach yourself from the outcome, Priscilla. Go out there, do your lives. You see, I do Facebook Live all the time, and I never go back and watch it. I never do, because I just don't. So I'll do the lives, I'll share my message, and then I'll come off and go and do something else. So just don't be attached to it, and just know that I'm impacting somebody. Even if you impact one person, Priscilla, that's one person who's heard your message and has been able to change their life. Fina says, I love the point of writing down I'm an expert because, yes, I am an expert because I am, qualified to do this because, and we forget. And I get my clients to write like at least 50 things, if not 100 things, because then you finish that exercise and you're like, well, of course I'm good at this. And I'm going to, I can go and charge X, Y, Z because I am qualified. I'm good enough. When I came into the online space, I completely disregarded the fact that I've had 10 years in corporate working with small business. It's sort of like, oh, I'm in a new business. So, I forgot that I have all this experience. And that's what happens. People come online and they think that yes, they're new in business, but they're not new, in the experience of what they're doing. But then they forget. So if you're struggling with that, I really want you to do that exercise. All your experiences, all your qualifications, all the people that you've connected with, your testimonials, you want to get those down as evidence for you. So yes, connect with your why. Hi, Edarin, good morning. And it's a brilliant reminder. Okay, so let me just wrap up this one and then we'll take any further questions. So yeah, I want you to get over yourself. I want you to constantly keep reminding yourself, what am I bringing to the table? The people I need to help, they need to hear from me. Identify what those fears are, okay? And then, I always like to say to my clients, identify what those fears are and then give 3 reasons why they're not true. So you might be like, oh, I don't know enough. Okay, is that really true? Like, you don't know enough? And like, what is enough? So what do you know? Is that a story you're telling yourself or is that fact? So everything you have, present yourself and ask, is it true? Or is this a story that I'm telling myself? People are going to hate what I put out there. Okay, is that true or is that fact? The thing is, there may be people who hate what you put out there, but that's not who you're trying to attract anyway. So we don't care about those people. What about the people who you are here to serve and how you can help them? Okay? Modupe, I may be new online, but I have quite a lot to offer. Exactly. And Modupe, you're classic. You have so much wisdom to help marriages and couples, but you've just come onto the online space and you're new into online space, but doesn't mean that you don't know anything. So, remind yourself of that. And just decide, make a commitment. Make a commitment that I'm going to commit to being visible. Make a commitment that, I'm going to decide what it is that I want to be known for, and I'm going to go out there every day and share my message. I go out there every day and share my message, okay? So it may be a video, it may be a blog post, it may be an email to my list, but you want to share your message in some capacity every single day, okay? Because you are in control of how people see you. You are in control of your visibility. If you think about these celebrities, when they have like these leaks of pictures that come out and everything, do you really think they're leaks? They are controlling their whole online persona, their image. And as an online entrepreneur, you can control your whole online persona, your image, how people see you, and how your brand is received. Okay, so you have control of that. But it starts with making a decision. I'm going to decide today that I'm going to show up. Okay, I'm going to put my fears to one side because my mission is bigger than my ego. There's people out there who need my help, so I'm going to go out there. I'm going to help them. I don't worry about what people say. I don't worry about what people think because I'm detached to the outcome, and I know that I have an impact. Okay, so that's lesson 1. I'll be back tomorrow talking about how not to do visibility and sharing some tips and strategies there. Do we have any questions? I know that I've been talking a lot, so let's see what we have. Madupe says she's new on live. Fina says, yes, I agree, Madupe. I'm currently visible in my group. What do I need to do to be visible outside of my group? Great question. Okay, so there's two things to consider there, Madupe. So what is the goal that you're trying to achieve by being visible outside of your group? Obviously, it's either to, grow your own community. So my goal when I'm being visible outside of my own group and community is to bring people into my community, okay? And to raise my profile and get myself in front of new people. Okay, so with that goal, then you ask yourself, where do my ideal clients hang out? Where are they? What other platforms are they on? What things do they listen to? What things do they read? So for you, Madupe, it would be things like, guest posting on other people's platforms, podcast interviews where you talk about what you do and how you help people, guest posts, connecting or collaborating with people who have complementary offerings to you. So you're in relationships and marriage, so you can find other people who operate in that similar sort of space. You have similar clients, but you can offer a different perspective, for example. So sorry, just shaky. So what do you need to do to be visible outside of your group? So you know how I talked about active visibility and passive? So this is looking at other platforms that you can be on, that your ideal client will be on, okay? And looking to see how you can grow that. And if you're not, for example, having content on your blog, on your website, which people can go and read, you want to look at that as well. It's having different places for people to connect with you, to connect with your message, with the goal of bringing them back to your community. So I hope that makes sense, Madupe. Tustin says, I started my Facebook Live yesterday and I'm just doing it afraid. I'm telling myself I'll get better by the day. Yes, you will. Seriously, guys, if you want to see some funny stuff, go to my YouTube channel or even my Facebook page and look at my videos from a year ago. It's like, one of my videos went viral last summer, okay? So over 160,000 people have seen this video. And I do, I just have to laugh about it because it's, the message was stronger than the delivery. So, don't worry. We all start somewhere. We don't despise the day of small beginnings. We start somewhere, we get better, okay? So Fina says, summary, being visible and being consistent is vital. The benefits, business growth, people get to know who you are. 2 types of visibility: active visibility, video; passive visibility, content, blogs. I also include like podcasts and things like that. How to overcome your fears, be comfortable with your self-worth, detach yourself from the outcome, keep going, keep being consistent. All right, so I've enjoyed today. It's been so nice to connect with you. I'll be back tomorrow at 7 o'clock. I'm hearing a knock at the door, which means my son is now up. So I'm going to go and get ready for school. But if you have any more questions, please post in the thread. If you're watching the replay and you have a question, please post in the thread. And yeah, we'll continue this conversation tomorrow. Take care, H-Pen. Bye.